Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Kia, and I am back for another video. As you can see, I am exhausted. I had a long day. Normally, when I do videos, I come refreshed, ready to talk, ready to give information, share my thoughts about stuff. But today, and for this topic, I really don't care. I'm doing it because, I had made a previous video about Huda, and I was hoping this reunion was going to enlighten some things and change some things, and it didn't change anything for me. So I'm just here, do this quick video, and then I'm out the door. Because to be honest, the problem with this season of Love Island is that everybody was here for the wrong reasons. Apparently, except for Shelly and Ace, Amaya, Nick and Nicola Landria seem like they were here for the right reasons. And kind of Clark and Taylor too, even though Taylor had a really rough start. I know a lot of people have issues with him and hate how he did Landria, but in reality, he was coming in looking for someone he could really be with, and he found somebody in Clark. But when you have people who are coming on here who know that once I get on the show, I will have this huge following, I'll have all these brand opportunities, it kind of takes away the love of it all. And it took away the love of it all for the fans as well, because now the fans are just picking their fan favorites, not the couples that really are going to work together and be in love, because it's Love Island and the Islanders were taking it the same way. Like, I don't like this person. This person is doing it a way that I don't believe they should do it, so I'm going to vote them off. And that was proven over this reunion. And then we had the whole situation with Huda, Alandria, and Shelly with the whole racism of it all. And I feel like Huda still doesn't get it. But a woman like Huda is never going to get it. We all are expecting for Huda either to exonerate herself or to have this light bulb and get it, and she just doesn't. I mean, we start off with, Andy and God, I forgot the girl's name. I don't care. I'm just going to get through this because I'm tired and this is not worth it. We have our two hosts who are going through it, and they're talking about each couple. And when they got to Chris and Huda, who are on the opposite side of the couch, she's like, "I'm fine, I'm fine," and Chris is like, "I am not fine. I don't like what happened on the show. I don't like how it was portrayed, and I don't like how you're handling it after." And she was like, "Well, I apologize. I really wanted to apologize because I didn't like that." But she apologized a couple of days before they end up with the reunion, and we see that a lot for these reunion shows, especially on Real Housewives. They apologize a couple of days before so that they can make amends, so that they don't get blasted when they're sitting on the couch together. I mean, the real thing to me is that Huda has learned absolutely nothing. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. She is really trying to stick to being famous, because I really believe she has no other talent outside of trying to be famous and be a personality now. So she's going to stick to that no matter what. Um, if we look at the whole ringleader situation with Ace, Ace was absolutely the ringleader. And once again, nobody would stand up and say that Ace was a ringleader and Ace was just kind of running the show, and everybody just kind of had to go along with it because Ace would do this or that. But I don't even know why. And maybe none of the guys wanted to admit why they were scared of Ace, because it makes them look like less than a man, or so on and so forth. Jeremiah comes out, and Jeremiah, they kept saying that Jeremiah was love bombing, love bombing, love bombing. But when you hear it from Jeremiah's point of view, when you watch the actual footage, he wasn't being love bombed, or he wasn't love bombing Huda. It almost was like a threatening situation, the same situation we saw her do with Chris. And in Jeremiah's situation, he just didn't want to have a blow up. He didn't want to have any problems. He didn't want to have screaming, yelling, anger, da da da. He didn't want to have any of that. And Chris was trying to have a normal conversation. Huda wouldn't let him have a conversation about it. So again, Huda is the common denominator with these two men. Why they went left. Now let me tell you something really interesting. Huda did redeem herself in one situation with the whole Shelly Chris, her bringing Chris over from Casa Amor. It's very convoluted, but Huda was honest. But what was Shelly supposed to say in that conversation, in the behind the scenes footage? Because Huda basically said, "Well, I'm bringing it over for both of us, but I don't want to go home, so I'm going to bring him over. But it could be for both of us," trying to get Shelly to kind of agree with it. And Shelly's like, "I get it, I understand it. I guess it makes sense. Sure, okay, let's just do that. You're my girl." Like, it was a weird, awkward conversation. And Hood is there shaking her head, like, "See, I told her, I told her." And me as a grown woman, these are 20-year-olds, me as a grown woman was like, that wasn't a supportive nod Shelly was giving you. That was I'm on camera right now, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say to this. And I really don't know what you're doing, and I don't know what your goal is. So I'm just gonna go along with it. And the same thing. And I get where Hood's coming from. Hood doesn't want to go home, so she's going to try to do something with Chris. But please don't make it seem like Huda was being a girl's girl in that moment. They talked about the other. bombshells that came in and they're just in situations. Honestly, I didn't care about any of the bombshells. Nobody cared about them. Coco was a blip on the radar of Love Island. She didn't really make a difference. Nobody cared. But she used her minute of fame to kind of tear down the other women on the show. Whatever. Fine, Coco. Go with God, Crispy, be blessed. When they bring up, here the other core was Alandria and Shelley calling out Huda for, calling them basically bullies and having that bully kind of just the thought of some there being of Huda being bullied just out there with no name attached to it, and she ended up attaching Shelley's name to it. And when they showed the reason why Shelley's name was attached to it, I was like, "Are you serious? That's what you call bullying?" Huda terrorized that house with her unstable emotions, where people were scared to say something to her because they didn't want to have a Hood eruption or a Huda blow up and deal with all that. And she can't recognize that or just doesn't even see it at all. When everybody else, you can see in different conversations like, oh, I'm over it. But we don't want her to get mad, or oh, is this gonna be a blow up today? It's Huda again. It's this and that. You can see all these people having separate conversations. That's not bullying. That's not them bullying you. Them bullying you, if they would have came to you every single day and been like, we don't like you, you're always having blows and emotional, just go sit in the room and cry. Or, ugh, what do you got to say again now, Huda? Ugh, you're having another emotional moment. Kind of like what they did to Maya during the Stand on Business challenge, where they all basically ganged up on her and said she was emotional and this and that, and you do too much, and the name calling and the pet names and this and that. If that was bullying. What Huda got was people just like, I really don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with her. I don't want to have her be emotional blowups. And, Shelly was shocked. And then Alandria's real issue was, your people are assuming I'm the bully and you're not saying anything to fix it. People are sending her memes of her face on George Floyd's body. I mean, you don't get any more racist and awful than that. And she wanted Huda to tone it down, and Huda didn't do it. So they're still not doing it. Huda is saying these roundabout comments. I mean, all I got from Huda this entire time was these roundabout comments. Like, oh no, I love her. I love her. She's awesome. She's amazing. Oh, I'm fine. Oh, it wasn't like that. And no one held her accountable for none of the stuff. No one held any accountability, had held anybody accountable for any of the stuff. No one held, Nick accountable for the whole Sierra situation, but I guess they didn't because Sierra's not there. Nobody held Ace accountable for him kind of running roughshod over everybody. Nobody held Huda accountable for anything. Nobody held any of the bombshells. Coco, nobody. Taylor wasn't held accountable. Nobody was held accountable. We were just running through what happened for the season. And again, it was a very interesting season, but the reunion, 2 hours, maybe it should have been 2 hour blocks, 2 hours, Monday night, 2 hours Tuesday night to kind of go through everything and really let people get into it. Because I feel like what was left on the cutting room floor was a lot of back and forth, was a lot of emotion, a lot of anger, maybe from Shelley and maybe from Alandria that they just cut out because they didn't have time to do it. But we'll never know. It's over now. Season 7 is over. Everybody has their massive following. Nick Alandria, I feel like they are a real couple. I feel like they're happy. I feel like they're starting from a great place. Shelly and Ace will probably be married within the next 2 years. And I hope Clark and Taylor last. I mean, that's great that all the black people ended up in the relationships, but Jeremiah, I think that's amazing and great, but we'll see. So that's my review. That's my thoughts on Love Island Reunion, and you won't be getting any more thoughts about it from me. So yeah, if you want to drop in the comments, you can. To be honest, I really don't care that much. So I'll see you in the next video with a topic I actually care about. Bye.